and welcome. I'm glad you could join me. Today I'm going to be doing a plan with me in my Hobonichi Weeks. The week is February 5th, and it is Lunar New Year week. It's going to be on the 10th, and I'm super excited to finish using my Coffee Monsters Co. Lunar New Year Doodles sheet that I had gotten from that shop maybe last month. So I started with laying down my favorite washi from Van Sticky. It's usually the one I use in all of my spreads. I just really like the way the banner looks. And then I use some Coffee Monsters Co. washi on the bottom. I do realize that my frame is not fitting the whole book, so I do apologize for that. I thought about just not posting, but to be honest, this is part of the learning process. This is part of the journey, and so I hope you still enjoy the process with me. I did speed this up just a little bit because today's planning session took a little bit longer than I was expecting because some things kind of popped up, things that I wasn't completely satisfied with in how everything was playing out. So I did make some edits and sped some things up so that you're not sitting here for 35 minutes watching me figure out how I wanted to fix certain things. So on the bottom of my Sunday, I had kind of deviated from the stencil, and so it wasn't straight, and I just added some details to it that I thought would work, and it was okay. There's always such a thing as overcorrection, and I think I kind of entered into that area. So what you see here is I'm just setting up my sections. On my leftmost column is where I keep track of my habits that I'm looking at, and the middle section is where I have all of the appointments that I have for the week. In the gridded page, I have the top section, which is my scripture writing, where I put a verse or a few verses that is speaking to me in this season, and it kind of helps me to stay focused. So I'm going through Psalm 103 right now, and so I'm going to go ahead and use my stencil to make that box. I did work on freehanding a little bit besides the flags today. Today's my first time kind of doing that in my Hobonichi, and I think it turned out okay. I'm sure I'll get better as I go along, but I think her name is Just Be with Iodia. I'll link her, I'll point to her video in the comments or in the description box. But I saw her doing, I guess it's a box, but it looked like it had torn paper. And so I kind of wanted to try that. And so that's what I did. So getting back to how I use this page. This gridded page will have the scripture on the top, and then on the bottom of it, I have my to-do list. That's how I keep track of what I've got going on for this week that's coming up. And I generally use that as my master list, and then every day I do some daily planning and break down those weekly tasks into a little bit more manageable sizes so that I'm not overwhelmed. So this past week, it wasn't so bad. It was pretty busy, but it wasn't overwhelming or anything. I think the last few months I've gotten into a place where even though it is busy, I find that I've built enough habits that it kind of keeps me grounded. And I was super excited because I was talking about and thinking about ways in which I could organize and get my office looking better so that it would be a place where people can gather more. And it just was super exciting because, I don't know, dreaming about what a space can look like and putting it together is just exciting. And so, yeah, today actually I was super busy because I was gathering supplies to do all the different organizational stuff, and my husband was doing some painting, and it was a pretty full day. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought about just maybe planning tomorrow, but I also know myself, if I don't do the planning before Sunday, it will just get very crazy and I may not get to it. So I went ahead and did do that, did go to the planning. I also found that I like using my Koweiko fountain pen with the extra fine nib in writing in my Hobonichi Weeks. There's something about the thinness of that nib that just makes that particular ink that I'm using seem so sharp. So anyway, I've been playing around with my fountain pens and what I like, and I'm realizing that fountain pens are really, I don't know, particular. Depends on the ink, depends on the nib size, depends on the maker. Sometimes I'm like, wow, this is pretty specialized, but it's also exciting to figure out what ink works well and my own writing style, because I do write kind of small, so I do recognize that part of that is a me issue, not necessarily an issue with these different pens. It's just I'm new to it, so I'm definitely still learning. So I'm just going back and putting in all of the different things I've got going on this coming week. With it being Chinese New Year, I'm super excited to get some of the dishes that I'm used to eating growing up when it's the New Year's time. I might make some radish cake and maybe make some dumplings. I'm not gonna go full out. I wish I could. I just don't honestly know how to make a lot of this stuff, but maybe I should try a different recipe every year so I can add to my repertoire, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna do that this year necessarily, because it's already Chinese New Year's and I wasn't necessarily ready for that. But anyway, going back, you'll see I'm using this little dragon because it is the year of the dragon from Coffee Monsters Co. and it is the cutest thing ever. I if I'd grown up with that kind of onesie, I might have worn that everywhere, to be very honest with you. But you know, they don't make that now, but at least it's in my planner, so that's exciting. Yeah, so I don't know, what are you doing? How are you planning? How do you like to get your mind ready for the week ahead? I don't know, like what do you do? I'd love to hear how you do this, how you get yourself organized. Please feel free to drop me some comments so I can learn also from you. I'm using this sticker sheet I've had this for forever, from Once More with Love. I love that it's my personal little bubble, you know, like it's perfect, and it's my Sabbath on Monday, so I'm excited to kind of go into my little bubble to decompress, to rest, sometimes I just sit at the coffee shop drinking my coffee and have nothing to do except drink my coffee and watch people. That might sound a little bit strange, but sometimes we just need those moments to be still, you know. So going back to this box, this torn paper box, I love the way that it looks. I'm still learning, of course, and I'm so excited to learn these new things from different people in the planner community. I'm sure this has been around for a long time. It's just I never really saw it and definitely never really attempted it. But this is a year of, you know, really trying to do new things, being willing to not be perfect at everything. I don't really know that there is a perfect, but just growing up, you know, I had this idea of you need to be perfect. So here is where overcorrection comes into play. I wanted to balance my little vine thing that I had done on the bottom with some color and different things on the top, and so I decided to kind of carry through with this vine idea. But to be honest, it didn't work out quite the way that I was expecting, and you know, if you're not happy with it, it's okay to try to change it. That's what I think. And I wasn't really happy with it after all that was said and done. I think I definitely overcorrected in terms of this particular spread. And so what you see me do is I go back through and I use this whiteout that I got from Simple Paper Co. It's like cream colored and it's the exact match to this more yellow paper in the Hobonichi. and I go ahead and I'm like, I'm not really liking this. And so I white it out and I find some washi that it unfortunately is not the correct width for what I was looking for, and so I kind of cut and paste and do all that. So you'll see that on my page, and I did speed that up so that we're not watching that part of it for me. So I went through and I cut down and I put the little washi tapes on my line that I had whited out so that it would cover it up, and I liked that the washi kind of matched the dragon. So I was super excited that I got to use my stash because I've got so many rolls of Simply Gilded washi and I love this stuff, but there's just no way that I'll ever use all of it, to be very honest with you. So I went ahead and I pulled different stickers that were left over on the Lunar New Year doodles that I gotten from Coffee Monsters Co. And again, like I said, it's not necessarily in frame and I'm learning, so hopefully next time I'll be better about making sure that you can see the whole frame. But trial and error and learning. So sometimes things don't exactly look the way that you want it to, and it's okay to go back and change it and be creative with it and fix it. I'm trying to get away from where it's like fix it, because it's nothing wrong with it. It's just I just wasn't happy with it, and it's okay to make changes so that it looks the way that you want it to, because it's your planner. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that maybe you had some time to also sit down with your planner and put pen to paper and get all of your schedule down for the week ahead. I hope that you have a very happy Chinese New Year if you celebrate. And if you don't, I hope that you still get out and get some of the food that I'm sure is going to be everywhere. I don't know, even here in Georgia, there's so many different festivals that I've heard about. And so if you don't celebrate Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, I hope that you still get out and try some of the food. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, or subscribe. Till next time.